car of their own if their destination was too far to walk. I'd forgotten they existed until I heard the word. I hesitated. Yes, that would be helpful. He nodded as he put his cell phone to his ear and took a step back, leading me toward the bar. Have a drink with me while you wait? He wasn't much taller than I was, and his frame looked weak, his shoulders slumped in his white t-shirt. I had a feeling I could kill him if I had to. I just needed to be cautious. Any warrior can die if their guard slips or their luck runs out, no matter how weak their opponent. Sure, I said. My shoes crunched across the gritty parking lot. I followed him up the stairs, passing a few peeling rocking chairs and a tin can full of cigarette butts. He pushed the door open with his back, then stopped, holding it open for me. I made sure I didn't touch him as I walked in. Faces in the dimly lit bar turned toward me. The scent of stale beer rose to my nostrils, along with a whiff of the man beside me. I'd expected him to smell bad, because his shirt was yellowed at the armpits and his dark hair was greasy, but he smelled like something both pungent and clean. Bleach. I followed him to a table where his friend was already waiting. Cab should be here in about 15, the first guy said, slipping his cell phone into his pocket before he held out his hand. I'm Steve. I didn't like touching people. How did strangers touching each other ever become the normal person thing to do? But I committed, offering him a grin as I shook his hand. Elisa. And I'm Roger, the other guy said. He was bigger than Steve, wearing a flannel shirt and a trucker hat pulled down low, escaping brown hair curled around his ears. Nice to meet you both, I said. One of them signaled for the waitress, who came over, glancing at me skeptically. Water, please. Neither of them complained I wasn't drinking, so that was a point in their favor. My throat was dry from the long walk. How the hell had I ended up in the middle of the woods, with no memories? Did I have a home, a car of my own, a last name? The two of them were staring at me, and I knew I'd better let go of my questions about the past for now. Staying alive in the present kept me busy enough. That note had warned me I didn't have any friends. I didn't think I'd suddenly found some. I drank my water. The men asked me a lot of questions about my life that I didn't answer. I couldn't answer them, but let's be honest, I wouldn't have told them even if I could. When Tweedledum and Tweedledee weren't distracting me, I looked around the bar curiously, taking in the bartender that leaned on the bar top to gossip with a cute young blonde guy, and a couple of tables of aging good old boys who kept the noise level elevated. An older woman was drinking by herself at one end of the bar. She slowly sipped a glass of wine. Her posture was perfect and dignified, and even though her hair was gray-streaked in a ponytail, her jeans and halter top clung to her fit frame. One of the good old boys swaggered over and tried to buy her a drink, and from what I overheard, she very politely told him to fuck off. Okay, she said she was waiting for her boyfriend, but it was obvious what she meant. It was an interesting cast of characters. I drained the last of my water and set it on the table just as Stephen's phone buzzed against the table. There's your ride, he said, holding up the cell. Thanks. Then I lied. It was nice meeting you both. Out in the parking lot, a yellow cab was idling. The car looked like it had been through a lot. Mud was splattered all across the back of the car, obscuring the license plate. Steve opened the door for me, which was a little more gallant than I needed, and I slid across the ripped black vinyl of the back seat. Where to, little lady? The driver asked. He might have been looking at me in the rearview mirror, but he was wearing sunglasses and a hat, and I couldn't see much of his face. The passenger door opened just as Steve slid in beside me. I slid over, glimpsing Roger settling into the passenger seat. Then I kept moving. Instinct took over. I grabbed the handle and tried to open the door, but the door was locked. I yanked harder on the handle as I heard the door slamming shut on the passenger side. Changed my mind, I said, trying to stay calm. I'd ask them.